Well, I'm looking at Module 3 project. We're given this very large piecewise function that we're trying to work with, and we need to get it into Desmos. So, here's all the background as to what's going on with the piecewise function, all that, but then using Desmos to get a graphical situation. Well, pretty much we have to enter it in little pieces because it's just too big to really see, and you could make even smaller pieces than this and put things together, but this I think works just fine. So we've broken all of this P of n, as it's called in the project, we've broken that into 4 pieces. I think, how many lines are there here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15, so we break it into 4 pieces. That's a 3 or 4 a piece, and so here are the pieces, and so we'll call each piece f sub 1, f sub 2, and so forth. Now notice these all say n, but to put it into Desmos I'm changing that to an x. So there's what we know as humans, but what we have to tell a dumb machine like Desmos, and it likes x's much better. So we'll use x's when we put that in. Now you can just start typing this, and as it says, when you enter like F1, so I've got Desmos up here. Now a couple things on Desmos, right? It'll open up to something like this because the graph is usually what's most important, but you really need room, so I would grab it here and pull that way wide. And so I need to start defining something. So I type F1, and notice it makes the F with a subscript 1, and I say F1 of x equals, and I just start typing, and should so open parenthesis, there's a close parenthesis. Now I could type all that in, but I've experimented a little bit with it, and let me show you what is good and what's not so good. So if I go back here, so I thought, well, what if in this document I just highlight all this and I copy the text? In Acrobat Reader or something like that, usually you have various tools. This tool is the text selection tool. I can change it to be like a browse tool. That's the hand, and zoom tool. I can click and zoom in on things, I guess. Maybe not. Select an area and right click to zoom out and so forth. So I want the tools. I want the text selection tool, so that I can just highlight that and copy it. Now to paste into Desmos, you cannot use the mouse. So if I right click to get a paste, this is what comes up. It's just web sheet stuff. So you have to use the Control and V, like in Victor command. So if I do Control V though, I just get these brackets. I've played with it a lot. If I highlight that whole thing, I get those brackets. Now what I have found is the problem is those curly braces, and so if I go in here and I've already typed the F1 of x equals, and then I just don't want the curly brace, and I just highlight what's inside the curly braces and copy that, Then when I go here and I click inside those braces and I do my Control V, it works just fine. It's very happy, and notice I still ran out of room here. So there's a little more room. But what you can see is it began plotting the piecewise function over here, the pieces. And so I can do that all the way down then. F2 of x equals, and put those in. And while I'm at it, I might as well just type in my F3 of x equals that, and F4 of x equals the curly braces there. And so now I'm ready to go back to my document and find my F2 of x, and I'll highlight that, copy it, and go back here and paste, Control V. And again, that's too long to be seen. Now I notice it added some spaces in here. I could make this a little shorter by editing it, I think. Oh no, those, okay, so it that's interesting. I hadn't really noticed that, but so usually when you type a less than or equal to, it makes this less than or equal to sign. But this seemed to work even though it didn't make that sign. But as I tried to collapse that space, so I hit delete, well, it deleted the whole equal to, so I went, oh, okay, I need to put the equal part back, and it made it much smaller. So you could, at this point, I don't think you have to. If I decide you do, I'll put a little disclaimer thing at the top. I'm going to do it just to show you it's just not that big a deal. And I just, I delete the equal sign that's there and type an equal sign. Delete the equal sign and type an equal sign. So, so that, I don't know that we absolutely have to do that. Again, after this video, I'll probably experiment and then tell you. But I'm gonna, for the moment, do a couple more, just to point out that I can, and that it's just not that big a deal. I hit delete and type an equal sign. Okay, so I'll leave those like that. At this point, go back and finish up this, so I'm not spending all my time doing that. Okay, and I again copy that, go back here and paste with a Control V, and I can use Control C to copy. But again, everything looks pretty good, except I did notice the less than or equal to signs. But like I say, I'm not sure that's going to matter, but that will take care of in a later. And okay, so finally my fourth one, and now I'm going to do a Control C to do the copy, and go back here and do the Control V to do the paste. And there I have all those pieces in, but now I want to put those together. So piece of n is then to put all these together. I just say, well, it is a piecewise defined function, and it goes from 1 to 49, which is what F1 did, and then second part goes from 50 to 399, which is what F2 did, and so forth. So here I have that, and again, I know that if I try to do the whole thing, it's not going to work. So I will just highlight that part and copy that text, and then go back here and click there to start something and say p of x equals, do my curly braces, click inside and do my Control V to paste it. And now, okay, so I see that it's not, oh, now the reason it's not happy is, you see, it didn't fix the F1 and the F2. Those are F and a big one. So I'll backspace and type a 1. And now it's a subscript just like it should be. I backspace and type a 2. I backspace, type a 3. And then I backspace and type the 4. And now it's happy. And notice over here we can't see much, but all of a sudden now those are green because the P of X has plotted right over the top. And now if I grab this here and pull it over, and then kind of grab my screen, zoom out a bit, okay, I see my function taking shape. And I can do this, I'm sort of in the way, and I could grab this thing and put it over here. I've made it not even to 1,000 yet, and I keep going here. So it, you know, it looks like it did everything just fine. I've got 5,000. Right, and it starts not looking real good, because to get out to these last few, I have to zoom so far out. But well, what I can do, I can go up to this wrench, and for the x-axis, well, I know I don't want anything much below 0, so you know, I'll maybe put in like a -10. That maybe is too far down. It's hard to say with the scale, but see, there's 5,000, so there's 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000. So I'm going to just, for now, try to make this 1,000, and see things are looking much better. And you know, it's still very close together here, but that the -10 is probably not good. Maybe I should do like a I'll try a -100. Yeah, that looks better. I can see it better, and I can click here and I can kind of continue to zoom and pan. I don't remember what the biggest number, oh, they're probably for the 50,000, right? That's the biggest number. And also, notice if I turn this off, you know, I get all the different colors there. If I turn it back on, so really what I want to do is turn those off, so all I'm looking at is the green, I think. And you know, so that's the nice green. Now there's 50,000. I'm going to go back here and look at what the largest one was. Where do we go? Oh, here we go. So there's 5,000. Yeah. So 50,000 was the biggest thing that we had. And so, you know, here's a pretty good picture, except let's see, this does go over 1,000, you know, but probably I'm fine going here to 50,000. So maybe I should make my y-axis go to 1,200. Well, let's see, there's 1,200, so maybe, yeah, 1,300. Okay, so I just kind of look at it, and I look at what the numbers are, and I'm trying to fill up my space so that I can see things better. And there, if I click in that cell with the P of X, there I can see everything. And you know, just to check to make sure everything's working right, I can click here, and I could just evaluate, like, what's P of 20,000. I could say P of 20,000, and again, my face is in the way, so I'll move back over here. It says I should get a number around 440. Well, if I look here, 20,000 is indeed 440 on there. You know, so it looks like everything's working just fine. And so, like I say, you can, probably don't need that anymore. You can, if you wish, you know, go in here and fix these again. And maybe you just want to fix the ones for P. And the only reason I even really suggest fixing them by you know, deleting the equal sign and then adding it back in, so delete and equals, delete and equals, is it makes it a little shorter, and so you don't have to go out as far here. Delete and equals. See, so yeah, so you know, now I can see the whole thing here. Now, and some other things you could do, I can make my whole web page much smaller. If you hold the control key and hit minus, notice up here in my browser, it now says 90%. And so what it's done is it's just made everything much smaller, and I can do it again, and there's 80%. But what you see, it makes the type smaller, so it doesn't take up as much room, and I can see what's going on over here better. You know, and so, you know, all of this is up to you. There I went down to 67%, and you know, I'm getting a pretty good picture. But even then, I might, you know, want to, in order to see everything, still scoot that back over this way. But I can see the graph quite well. I'm not sure at this point I necessarily need to see the numbers. So there we've gotten our piecewise defined function in, plotted nicely, defined, and the scale looks pretty good. Just by panning and zooming and using the wrench over here, I could get that set up. All right, so there's a first video.